Hello students. Today we are going to study the last topic of chapter number 3, Understanding Quadrilateral. If you have not seen the part 1, 2 and 3, just have a look because the fundamental I have mentioned over here. Also, those who are interested to take my online classes, please mail me on the given information. You can take the screenshot of this. Today, we are going to study some spatial parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, and square, and their properties. What are their sides relationship, their diagonal, and all other. So first of all, let's talk about rhombus. Rhombus is a parallelogram. We are studying the topic, some spatial parallelograms. So rhombus is a spatial type of parallelogram in which all the sides are equal. So A, B, C, D is a rhombus in which AB, BC, CD and AD all are equal. Rhombus is also a special type of kite. So rhombus has the property of parallelogram as well as kite, both. Kite says the adjacent side are equal. Yes, the adjacent side are equal. One pair of opposite angle are equal. So yes, we have. And here some other property of rhombus we have. That is diagonal of a rhombus. They bisect and at 90 degree. Means what? Suppose AC and BD are two diagonal. They are intersecting at a point O. It means AO is equals to OC and at the same time OB is equals to OD. And the angle AOB is 90 degree here. How? As I said, the property of rhombus says the diagonal of rhombus bisect each other at 90 degree. So in a more specific way, the diagonal of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector. They bisect each other and also they are perpendicular, means they make 90 degree. And other properties of parallelogram are included here, means opposite angles are equal. So angle B and D are equal, A and C are equal. And opposite sides are equal, like AB is equals to CD. So whatever the properties we have learned in the previous videos, those properties of parallelograms are included. Other than that, one more property, that is about the diagonal. Diagonal of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector of one another. Let's move to the rectangle. What is rectangle? So second is rectangle. Rectangle has all the property of parallelogram because it is a type of parallelogram. So suppose P, Q, R, S is a rectangle. Here, the diagonal of a parallelogram are equal and they bisect each other, but not 90 degree as in the case of rhombus. They are not 90 degree and we can see clearly. Here, the diagonal are not equal, like the diagonal is AC and BD, they are not equal. But in the case of rectangle, PR and QR, QS, PR here and QS are diagonal and they are equal. So this is one of the property of rectangle. Let's study them one by one. Diagonal of a rectangle are of equal length. That's what I said. But this is not in the case of rhombus. Let's move to the third one, that is square. So here we can say square is a combination of rhombus and rectangle. How? Here, as rhombus has all side equal, so square has all side equal. Then in rectangle, the angles, all angles are 90 degree. So here also all the angles are 90 degree. In this case, the diagonal are equal. In square, diagonal are equal. And we know the diagonal of a rhombus bisect each other at 90 degree. So here it bisect at 90 degree. Suppose this is A, B, C, D. So the property are diagonals are equal. They bisect each other at 90 degree and all the sides of square are equal. So let's compare the property of rhombus, rectangle and square. So under the topic, suppose I am considering these sides length. So in rhombus, all sides are equal, correct? All sides equal. In rectangle, opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal. And in square, again, all sides are equal. Now suppose sides parallel thing, if we consider sides parallel, correct? So same for all, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are parallel. Let's talk about diagonal. So diagonal are not equal length. There are two diagonal and they are not equal. Here diagonals are equal. Diagonals are equal. And here also diagonals are equal. Are they bisector? In all the three cases, yes, they are bisector. Here, diagonal property, if we talk about, not equal, but they bisect each other. Bisect each other at 90 degree. They are equal and bisect each other. Bisect each other. But again, not 90 degree. In this case, yes, bisect each other. They are equal, bisect each other. And again, at 90 degree. So here I can say square is a rectangle because all the property of rectangle is there in the square. Like all the sides are equal, yes. Opposite sides are parallel, yes. Diagonals are equal, yes. Bisect each other, yes. So all the property of rectangle are there in the square. But reverse is not true. Means rectangle is a square? No, it is not. Why so? Because square has the property all sides are equal. But rectangle does not have all the sides equal, only opposite sides. Correct? So these are the comparison. Even at the end of the chapter, they have given one comparison sheet, or you can say the property they have mentioned. It is important to understand and learn those properties. So let's solve the exercise. It says state whether it is true or false. Exercise 3.4 question first. All rectangles are squares? Just we have studied. No, because all the sides of rectangle are not equal. So it is not fulfilling the property of square. So it is false. All rhombuses are parallelogram? Yes, because rhombus are a type of parallelogram. So it is true. All squares are rhombuses and also rectangle. Square has the property of rhombus. Whether they has, all squares are rhombus. Rhombus says the opposites, all the sides are equal. Yes, square has all the sides equal. Diagonal bisect each other at 90 degree. Yes, they bisect. Correct? So yes, all squares are rhombus and also rectangle because squares fulfill the property of both. So yes, it is true. Next, all squares are not parallelogram. Clearly, it is false. Why? Because square is a type of parallelogram. It means square is a parallelogram. So this one is false. Let's see the next one. All kites are rhombuses. All kites are rhombuses. Rhombus is a special type of kite. So all the kite will not fulfill the property of rhombus. Correct? So it is false. Because see, kites has like this. So a special type of kite is a rhombus where all the sides are equal. But there are kite whose sides, adjacent sides are equal, not all sides. So means all the kites are not rhombuses. That is why it is false. All rhombuses are kites Yes, because rhombus is a special type of kite. So definitely rhombus has the property of kite. True. Next question, all parallelograms are trapezium. The condition for trapezium is one pair of opposite side has to be parallel. In parallelogram, two pair of opposite sides are parallel. So yes, parallelogram has the property of trapezium with some extra property. So the property of trapezium is fulfilled. So yes, it is true. Next, all squares are trapezium. Again, the squares fulfill the property of trapezium, correct? As the parallelogram does. So yes, it is true. The second question says, identify all the quadrilaterals that have four sides of equal length. So we have seen rhombus, who has all the four sides equal. Even the square has all the sides equal, correct? So it says mention all the quadrilaterals. They have asked the plural. So means these and this. The second they have asked four right angles. So all the angles has to be 90 degree. So again, it is square for sure because squares has all the side, all the angles 90 degree, and even also, can you mention it? Yes, it is rectangle. Rectangles also has all the angle 90 degree. Coming to the third question. In third question, they says, explain how a square is, means how the property of a square fulfill all these conditions. So let's discuss one by one. First, a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means four side. And yes, a square has four side. So it is fulfilling the properties of quadrilateral. So it is satisfying the condition. Then parallelogram. What is the condition for parallelogram? The opposite pair of side has to be parallel. And in square, yes, opposite sides of a parallelogram are opposite sides of a square are parallel, which is the property of parallelogram. So again, this condition is true. If you want to write a statement, here you can write for the first one, like for the first answer, as there is no space, I'm writing here. For this one, square has four sides. Square has four sides. So it is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. Now the second one, let's scroll me little up. Here, the second question says parallelogram. So square has pairs of opposite side, opposite sides parallel, opposite sides parallel. So it is a parallelogram, correct? Parallelogram. Now the third point says a rhombus. Okay. So what is the property of rhombus? Rhombus has all the sides equal and the diagonal bisect each other at 90 degree. So yes, the all sides of a square are equal, correct? And diagonal of squares are perpendicular bisector of each other. I'll write in short the symbol perpendicular bisector of each other. So that is why it is a rhombus. The fourth one, a rectangle. So what is the property of rectangle? All the angles has to be 90 degree and diagonals are equal, correct? So square has that. Square has all angles 90 degree and diagonals are equal. So it is a rectangle. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4. Question number 4 says, let me scroll it up a little bit. Name the quadrilaterals whose diagonal, means we have to mention the quadrilateral whose diagonal has some particular property, bisect each other. So all the quadrilaterals who belongs to parallelogram category are that in which the diagonal bisect each other. So you can name a common name parallelogram, all the parallelogram, correct? Under which I can mention rhombus. Then I can mention what? I can mention rectangle. Then I can also mention square. They are the type of parallelogram, correct? Okay. Diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. Again, we are studying the same. Perpendicular bisector means they are bisecting and also at the 90 degrees. So that is easily you can say it is rhombus and squares. In all they are bisecting but not 90 degree. Like here in the rectangle, it is not at 90 degree. So that is why here bisecting as well as at 90 degree. Now, in which the diagonals are equal. So we know it is rectangle we have studied in property and square where the diagonals are of equal length. Coming to the question number 5. So question number 5 says, explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. Do you remember what is convex figure? So convex figure is a one in which when you join the diagonal means joining any 2 points. When it comes inside the figure completely, it is a convex figure, right? So draw rectangle. This is a rectangle, correct? Does not look like, but we leave it is a rectangle. A, B, C, D is a rectangle in which all the angle are 90 degrees. Now draw the diagonal for the quadrilateral. It is AC and BD. And see, the diagonals are completely inside the figure. So yes, rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. How to say that? As all diagonals are completely inside the figure, so rectangle is a convex quadrilateral, correct? Now the last question of the exercise, question number 6. This question is little bit kind of concept based. Here it says ABC is a right angle triangle. So ABC here is right angle triangle. Here it is 90 degree. O is the midpoint of the side opposite to the right angle. This is right angle. Opposite to it is a side AC and O is the midpoint of it. Explain why. This is the question. Explain why O is equidistant from ABC. So O is definitely equidistant from A and C as it is a midpoint. We just need to prove it is also equidistant from BO. Okay. So what we do, draw a parallel line. How to write it? I'm writing here step by step. So the proof is draw AD which is parallel to BC and also draw DC which is parallel to AB and let they meet at point D, correct? Okay. As I'm drawing this parallel, correct, means it is a parallelogram. Therefore, ABCD is a parallelogram. Parallelogram. This we have done construction, right? you can write this under steps construction. Is a parallelogram by construction, right? Now, in a parallelogram, if one angle is 90 degree, if one angle is 90 degree, then it is rectangle, then it is a what? Rectangle, right? Correct. If you have any doubt, suppose you are not able to understand, you can comment me and I will definitely reply. Okay. So now we know the diagonal of a rectangle bisect each other, correct? So according to rectangle property, according to the property of a rectangle. What is the property of rectangle? Diagonal bisect each other, correct? Okay. It means what? It means BO is equals to OD. This is another diagonal. We also know the diagonals are equal. It means AC is equals to BD. This is also a property of diagonal. Means what? AC half of AC will also be half of BD. Correct? Hai Because if AC and BD are equal according to the property of rectangle, then half of there will also be equal. Okay, take an example. Suppose 10 is equals to 10. So their half, 5 is equals to 5. Correct? Okay. So half of AC is what? AO or even OC. Correct? Same way, what is half of BD? Half of BD is either BO or OD. Correct? So it means what? All the sides are equal. Hai So it means, yes, O is equidistance from A, B, C. Correct? So that's about fourth exercise of third chapter. And this was the last exercise. We have completed third chapter. Now we will move to fourth chapter from the next video onward. See you in the next part. Till then, take care and happy studying. For online, you can contact me or mail me.